Check. 1, 2. Everything started on time, the right way, with no hiccups. What's going on, good people? It's your boy Gaming Dad, man. Welcome, and welcome again. Welcome back. Man, it's been a minute, man. Listen, I apologize, man, but I had so many things going on. Shout out to Geeky and her family, man. That they reached out, man, just to check in on me and just to make sure I was good. But man, yeah, man, I've been dealing with a lot. My dad is sick, but he's kind of been sick for a long time. But it got real serious for a hot second, and it's still kind of serious. So we're not out of those waters. So you can just keep him in your prayers, man. Just kind of mentally, at this, dealing with that, dealing with a parent, being in a situation like that. It's something you got to deal with. And then on top of that, man, just trying to manage the family, manage basketball season all at the same time, man. I was just getting, cut left and right. So we had to reschedule a bunch of games because the schools, they do stuff stupid down here in Georgia when it comes to sports. And so this year the football team went to a different league than the basketball league. So some are the people that we play within this league play for a totally different league that's out of the Atlanta area. And so some of their games, the people that we would play, they were still playing football. And so, down here in Georgia, if you're playing football, of course, if you're playing one sport, you can't play the other sport until that sport is complete. And so we've run into some situations where we had games to play, but we couldn't play those games because of the fact that, the other teams were playing, they didn't have enough players. And so we just ran into a couple of those situations. So the games we've played so far, man, we had to reschedule some games. So the games we played so far, man, we're 4-0. What's going on, Dub City? D1 in the building. I just saw y'all chat pop up. Hold on, let me see if I can remove this. Can't see D1s, but see D1 says, what? Gaming Dad is actually alive and streaming. Be golly gee walkers. I'm shocked. Don't be shocked, D1, man. Just be happy because your boy is on the stream tonight. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my brother. Dub City in the building. Oh, you know what? Listen, I need to listen. See, it's always something, man. I forget to do. And I gotta get my wheel set up. Let's see, maybe that. I can tend to forget. It's been a minute. Let's see. Can I get my name? I think this is it here. Yep, there it is. Supersonic Market J. Listen, what's going on, CMG? I did send out his. He won the last time we was on, and I sent his winnings out today because I was able to stop by GameStop yesterday. Let me tell you about these stories, man. I've had so much going on, man. So me and my son, shout out to my son, give him a round of applause. My son Joseph is home from college, and the first time he took his driver's test, he failed it. He failed it bad. I mean, he failed it real bad. I'm glad I didn't go the first time, but he took the test again. He passed it, got his license today. So that's the hand clap for him today. But yesterday we went out. We took the test yesterday, so because the plan was to stream yesterday, but we go out to stream. We saw a GameStop. I stopped by for a minute. I went in, did a little small Christmas shopping, and they came out to the car, man, and the car cut off. I'm like, what the car cut off for? He was like, he sleep. He's like, I don't know. It just cut off, and so it wouldn't come back on. Oh man, I was out there, man. Like, listen, I had to call my wife. My wife had to get up, come drive a half an hour to come to me, and I kind of figured it out. It's like I had power, but I didn't have power. But I didn't have enough power to give a spark. So I said, well, it couldn't be the it could have been the alternator. That's what I thought. So it could be the alternator, and or the battery. It had to be one of the two. So my wife came down and tried to jump it, and it still wouldn't turn over. So I said, at that standpoint, I knew it was the battery. So I had to go pay $287 for a battery. Crazy, right? Went and bought the battery, put the battery in, and so this is the funny part. So Your boy gave me that has been working out. So my shoulders starting to look right. So I've been hitting the gym, right? So I'm out there. I still got my basketball stuff on, and so I'm trying to change the battery. So I had to look around. So my wife is so funny, and so about this younger Latino woman approached me and was like, she couldn't really speak a whole lot of English, but she was like, do you need a jump, cables, she making this. I was like, no, ma'am, I'm good. I'm like this here, and I see my wife over there like, he didn't told you no once. I love my wife, boy. She was about to be gangster. I was like, damn. Listen, I ain't do nothing. Let me coming at me. Yeah, so that was funny, man. That was funny. But changed the battery, got the battery changed, and all is good. I got some other things to get done. But it's always something, man. I was looking to spend $300 on an unexpected. I thank God that I had it. At this time, if I didn't have it, then I'd be in trouble. But I thank God that I had it. Took care of that yesterday. Oh man, there's so many little things. So don't be surprised if I break off into story time as we're going through this stuff today. Just kind of kick it. Don't forget, man. Listen, your boy got a poll up, man. If you have not voted yet, get your vote on the poll on YouTube. We are broadcasting. Let's see if I can. No, I don't want to do that. Hold on, let me see. I got to move some stuff around so I can see what's going on. All right, so the poll tonight was, because you know what, we're going to talk about, we got to get into PlayStation dipping their hand back into the portable market, which they should have never. Listen, their home console was doing so well, they should have never walked away from the portable console. The PS Vita, to me, still was like a really good system. It needed some help though, but it still was a real good system. They should have continued. They should have came right back with a Vita 2, and they should have messed around, and they'd have been straight. So what's going on, Steve? Oh, matter of fact, listen, I'm sitting here running my mouth. I ain't get nobody on the board. Steve M in the building. D1. Gaming Dad. Dub City. Dub City, I don't know if you watching or hearing, Sarah. I want to do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving over there? Do you have some kind of holiday that's like something like that over there in Sydney? Let's see, CMG in the building. Gotcha. All right, I think I got everybody. All right, I'll get to the comments in a hot second, but yes, like I said before, Sony should have never got away from the PlayStation Vita. They should have kept that line. That was a great console. I'm going to keep saying it like that. They should have never walked away from that. And I think by them walking away, it allowed Nintendo to really come in a unique spot. I don't think Nintendo sells 140 million units if there's a Vita some form of Vita PlayStation competition happening simultaneously while the Switch is alive. I don't think they sell 140 million. They've already got to 100 million. I don't think they sell 140. D1 CMG says, how are your basketball team? So man, we 4-0 right now, baby. 4-0. We've been balling. And you know what? And we've beat the teams that whooped on us last year and the year before that. Like we've always been in competition with certain teams, the Cartersville, the Cavs. We always end up splitting. But Calhoun, man, they used to whoop our tails, man. I've never beat Calhoun to this year. And so we put a 20-piece on Calhoun. And I don't think they coach like how we ended the game, too. We ended the game on a steal. We had the lead. We was up 20. But, hey, my big boy got a steal, came down, slammed it. Pow! Man, I got an 8th grader, man, that's 6'4". He is 6'4", and he is dunking. And Buddy, he bringing the house now. He is 8th grader. I got some talent. I ain't gonna lie. This year, if we don't win it all, man, it's on me as a coach. That's how it is. Yeah. Oh man, listen. And the bad part about that game, CMG, not only did he get the steal at the end, at the buzzer, slam, it's on their floor. So we on the road. We gave them the 20-piece at their house. Oh man, it was great. It was crazy, man. So yeah, man, a lot of stuff, other stuff I want to talk about tonight, man. You know, is anybody doing any shopping for Black Friday? Man, listen, once again, we've all went back and forth on when this Switch is gonna come out, man. But you know, these new reports seem like, you know what? I don't think it's about if the system is going to release in March. It's more as that is it going to be this short 2-month cycle from announcement to release. To me, that's the bigger question. And do I believe Nintendo could do it? Also, man, shout out to Steve M. Man, he sent a dope video of Steve Grubb that I did not see about his thoughts on the Nintendo Switch tax, and he really talking about how President-elect Trump is thinking about placing tariffs on goods coming out of China and Japan, things of that nature. And but I want to talk about that a little bit too, because I think his video didn't quite explain how Nintendo could avoid it and what happened, because there are tariffs that Trump put in his first time in office that are still there, and not once have the Switch has been the same price ever since. So, but I think the difference is going to be, and I think it's going to be the same way, because we use so many electronics, that in those tariffs that Trump put in the first time around, there was an exception for electronics. So I still think we'll get past some of them things. So I'm not worried about and I don't think Nintendo's definitely worried, because of course they're not trying to eat more costs. They got to get their shareholders, but I still don't think overall it's going to be affected. But also one thing to it's a bug in here. I hate, man, why bugs want to come in here when I cut the light on? It wasn't a bug in here all day. Now I got a bug in here. I think it's probably one of them beetles. I don't know. However, Baz is 24/7 in the building, man. What's going on with you? Let me get you on the board. 24/7 TV. Gotcha. All right, let me get into some of these comments. But yeah, you know what? Oh man, there's a lot to talk about, people. A lot to talk about. Let me go ahead and but yeah, I just don't think, man, that the Switch is going to be affected by the tariffs. And there's a couple reasons why I believe it. Because people tend to forget that the first set of tariffs forced Foxconn to build a plant in America. So people forget, like, hey, Foxconn just built this big old plant in Texas. So I think, like, there's ways Nintendo can get around some of these tariffs. I'm telling you, I believe they were smart the first time. They'll be smart this time, and it's still, the key is what I like about tariffs. Tariffs force other countries and other companies to invest in America. Tariffs force companies that are here in America to say, hey, instead of having that plant over there in Mexico, we probably need to build that plant here in America, because they don't want them tariffs. See, as long as it's made in America, they get away with it. That's why Foxconn being over here in America was smart. They were ahead of the game. I don't know if that Foxconn plant is up and running yet, but I know it was close, because they broke ground back when Trump was in office the first time. So I believe that plant is probably up and running, and so Nintendo, they got ways to escape it. All right, now they can get away with especially for launch, they'll be good, because those first if think about it, if they probably got stockpiles of a Switch is probably here in America already, as far as we know it. But there's ways for them to get around it. So I'm not too worried as a consumer. It's still a chance, so it could bite us in the butt, but I don't think so. All right, let me get to some of these comments. Let me try to roll back up. Comments some people. All right, we got CMG's in the building, of course. Steven says, I know Advanced Auto is expensive for battery. Yeah, man. That's who got me. Advanced Auto. Said pay 250, 275 for one because I needed it in a hurry. Yep, I needed it in a hurry. I have no tools with me, so I had to buy tools to get the battery off, and then I had like it had a bracket on there. It's a bracket to get the battery off. I had to get that thing off too. So yeah, they got me. I got played. But that's all right. Once again, I was still glad that I was there. So I got back late. That's why I didn't stream. I was on stream yesterday. That was the plan. Says CMG says Sony knows that Switch 2 is going to be a damn good one. I think, man. Listen, I think so too, man. If I was talking with a partner of mine, and we were just talking, we were chopping up video games, and he believes, and I believe too. I was like, if Nintendo can do two major things with this system. Of course, we know it's a performance hike is going to be there, but if they can keep that battery life around the Switch OLED, and if they can improve load times, they're going to have a winner on their hands. Because those are the two major things that always it still bothers me to this day about the Switch is that, man, load times and battery life. And I think the battery life on the OLED is pretty good, so I'm not really tripping about that. But when we first got the Switch, I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but you play 2.5 hours of Breath of the Wild, buddy, that bad boy needed to be charged quickly. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man, how they I'm waiting on. I'm be nice to see, Spawn Way break it down so we can really see how Nintendo put this thing together, man. But I'm excited, man. I mean, 'cause, in reality, man, and within 5 months, if we're gonna know what this system is. Now we might not have it in 5 months, but we'll at least know what it is. CMG says, speaking of PlayStation Portable, I had to get rid of my PSP and PSP Slim batteries because they were both swollen. Yep, matter of fact, one of my former students, man, he gave me a PSP, but the screen was cracked, but it still worked. But I had to buy a new battery because that battery was I had a swollen battery too. And but it was pretty cheap to get the battery, and I bought a new screen, but I haven't installed it yet. That's what I probably should do tomorrow. That probably should be my love project after I do some cleaning. Is go ahead and put that screen on. That might be dope. Plenty of stuff to do. I know that much. Let's see. Steve M says some of the Switch games are actually ports from PS Vita, JRPGs, visual novels, and other Japanese third-party games got ported over. Yep. You know what? My thing is that I'm just looking forward to seeing two things. I mean, as much as people get tired of ports, man, I mean, I don't. I mean, if the port is good and it works better, I'm all in favor of that. Certain games I want ported, over. It's stuff I want ported over to the PS5, let alone PC. Like I need them first 3 God of Wars on Steam Deck ASAP. And speaking of Steam Deck, man, listen, has anybody used the screen record feature on the Steam Deck yet? I have not tried that. I said I need to make that it's on my things to do list. I want to make sure that happens. I want to see how good that quality is. Baz is in the building. D1 says, what do you think about Valve turning the tables on early leases and refunding? Okay, this is a new story. Don't know what you're talking about, D1. Please explain. You'll make a brother look that up. Hold on. Because I do not know. Let's see, let's put Valve early release. No, that didn't work. So Steam refunding. Let's see that. What comes up? Okay, all right, here it is, right here. That's matter of fact, let me. I'm gonna switch to the screen real quick so y'all can see what I'm saying. If I can get there. All right. No, maybe it's this one here. All right, there we go. It's Steam has changed its policy on DLC content and season passes, so no players are entitled to proper compensation if future plans fall through. Customers will be offered a refund for the value of unreleased DLC. I mean, listen, just on that statement alone, I think it should. Like, if I bought a game and if I bought like a season pass or whatever, and if that company don't give me, no extra content, yeah, I should get my money back. Let me continue reading. It says there's been a significant change as to how Steam will require games to advertise expansion packs or DLCs on their platform. The new guidelines clearly spell out what can be classified as new extra content and how publishers and developers should handle this future content to ensure that it actually benefits customers. By offering Season Pass, you are promising future content. The guideline says, in the process of launching a Season Pass, you will be asked to commit to a launch time for each content released in the Season Pass. I think that's great, man. Hold these developers accountable. It's like, man, you can't stop giving us lip service. I just think, you know what, the video game market has turned into the quickest pimp game in all of creation, man. And listen, and it's happening really slow and behind the scenes, and people are not talking about it more, but they should. These companies that are releasing these games that's broken, I believe that, you know what, we should have the right to get our money back if we have a game that's unpolished and unfinished. That's just my opinion. Give me my money back if you deliver me a game that's so broken and unfinished that I can't enjoy it. Man, I would just what was it? It was another game, and the stuff that I can't think of the game. What was it? Golly, I hate that. It was a game I was just reading about that. That game was like, it was unbroken. It was broken, and they couldn't even play it. It's like, you know what? Don't. Hey, man, listen. Don't play with my money. Play with your money. Don't play with mine. It says, let me keep reading. It says, it also spells out the risk of promising DLC and the like to players. Devs don't just have to provide a launch time, but they need to work to fulfill that promise and release the game when originally intended. Selling a season pass has risk. So you know what? Stuff like this here, man, makes you say, I'll wait on the season pass. For real. It's like, you know what? If it's not any benefit to me day one, I'll wait. Matter of fact, that will be my advice to anybody who buys season passes. Matter of fact, if I think about it, the only game I've ever bought a season pass to was Smash. But Smash came through. They made sure it I mean, that was a great benefit. But that was it, though. So, and thanks D1 for that because I wasn't even up on game on that. But that's great. I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna read all this here, but that's pretty much the gist. You know what? Let me get out of here. All right, let me back up out of here. Back to the chat screen. All right. Let me get back here. I got to put some more people on the board real quick. I think my son Joe just popped on. All right, Joe in the building. All right, let's see. Steve M says during Trump's first term, he gave an exception to video games after Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft met with him. Well, listen, they better get the meeting again. They better get the meeting again. Listen, that's good information, Steve. I didn't know that all three of them got together to meet with him. They need to do it again because if not, buddy, ooh wee. CMG says that happened to me all the time when I start streaming. Steve M says they also started manufacturing in Vietnam and Cambodia. Yeah, they sure did. Nintendo switched gears. You know what? These companies ain't stupid. They ain't trying to pay no tariffs. They're gonna find different ways to get around it. I mean, that Foxconn deal, man. I think was a lot bigger than what people know about. Foxconn was supposed to make a big plant in Wisconsin, but it cost taxpayers money, and Foxconn backed out. Wisconsin wasn't going for that. Yeah, but they got one in Texas. Yeah, to be honest, they probably need another two or three companies. That keeps a company that should be worried is like companies that's here in America. They do a lot of their production overseas and have that stuff shipped from overseas over here, like the Apples of the world. They're gonna have to do something. But I think I think this time it will be some exceptions too. I think the overall is the scare of saying, hey, you know what? Spend here in America, build here in America. It's part of his America First initiative, and you know what? Other companies they're gonna have to submit. You know why? Because the U.S. is the biggest market for consumer goods. It's number one. It's number one for consumer goods. Other countries, no matter how weak the dollar may be, other countries make tons of money off America, and so. These tariffs, they might not be good for some of us consumers initially, but I think overall is pretty good for the country. Let's see. That's what Trump was talking about. Them tariffs. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. D1 says, Valve told developers don't advertise early access if you're not going to commit it to pay the consumers back. That's right. Shout out to Valve, man. Listen, it's the little things. When companies like that really take a stand for the consumer, it makes you want to support their product even more. It's like, just as much as I'm excited for Switch 2, I'm gonna be just as excited for Steam Deck 2. Just as excited. You know what? Probably even more excited for Steam Deck 2 compared to, let's say, a Microsoft handheld or even a Sony handheld. Because I really think about, for Sony to have a handheld, I mean, there's only so many games that, I'm going to want to play that's not on PC on this PlayStation hand. I just don't know how they make it. That's my issue with Sony. I don't know how they make it any different to make you say, you know what? Okay, before, there was no competition. It was just Sony, Nintendo. Now, it's a lot of, Valve don't care. Valve, they're, how can I say that? They care about their gaming market and their console market, but they like, hey man, they tell all these companies, keep making these handhelds because eventually you're gonna bring more people to Steam. All these handheld devices are gonna do nothing but making people come to Steam. Even over Epic Games, I don't know. I wonder how the numbers are, comparing, Steam users to Game Pass users. You know what? To me, if I'm one of these companies, I'm just trying to figure out a way where I can have a smooth experience with Game Pass and a smooth experience with Steam. If I can somehow marry those two together, I got a winner. You got a bona fide winner. To me, all these handheld, gaming systems heading to the market, man, that should be the absolute focus. How do I make a smooth experience between these two here where people get on, they can get instant access to Game Pass, instant access to their Steam library, and it's a smooth, non-clunky experience because that window experience is still terrible. Steve M says, I don't like how games charge extra for deluxe versions and only to add more DLC later and cost extra. Right. It's the pimp game, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna give you. Listen, this is the drug game. I'm gonna give you a sample of this drug, but this time they making you pay for that sample, and then they say, "Oh, you want some more of that, or pay some more." It's like, man, listen, you guys is worse than these taxes. It says Persona 3 Reloaded did this, and so did Dragon Ball Fighter Z. As good as that game was, you are absolutely right, Steve. They did the exact same thing, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped playing it. I stopped playing it for those reasons. Like, man, but they listen. You know who they got? I'm sorry, my son on here. Like Dragon Ball Z, they get my son. Like the universe, they probably spent an extra $100 a piece, easy on Dragon Ball Xenoverse, easy on DLC, new character. They just listen. They was getting them. I was like, nope. I'll play what I got. I grind what I got, and if I don't get it, then so be it. And that's the reason why, man. When these video games, they have really taken the fun out of video games. You know what? Give me a game that's complete. You know what? That's why people still hang around and still mess with Nintendo, because they give out games that's pretty much complete. Not true enough. Smash Brothers was a different story. Splatoon was a different story too. But Smash Brothers, you know what? I mean, sorry, it was. I felt them season passes gave me value. You add that listen, that mechanic of having Smash Brothers filtered in with your directs. Oh man, it just that was a winning combination. And I wonder what other companies are going to pick up on that scheme and say, man, I got to do it how Nintendo did it, because they did it. There's no complaints. I did not hear not one complaint from somebody like, I'm not buying the battle pass I'm not buying this fighter pass for Smash Brothers. You was like, shh, hit it $20, $25 with no problems, none, zero. Hey Joe, I see you in here, buddy. D1 says, imagine putting tariffs on companies that are America's biggest producer for goods. What an idiot. You know what? Listen, I'm telling you, it's not going to come to that. I'm going to tell you why. Because what's going to happen is, and just like it happened before, like, you know, companies going to scale back. And they can only put tariffs on goods that's not produced in America. So what happens is when they'll to other countries, they'll put tariffs on us. You know what? So as they export stuff out of the U.S., there'll be a tariff from that country. Like you can but long as you're producing here in America, you find ways to bypass that. And so you know what? So what's going to happen is a lot of companies is going to have they're going to broker deals with America. They're going to say, hey, you know what? We promise to build X, Y, and Z and hire X, Y, and Z here in America if you lift these tariffs. It's a win-win for the company. It's going to force a lot of these companies to say, hey, we're going to have to negotiate with the United States now. It's going to force Japan companies to say, you know what, you like the liberties that Japan companies have over here, we don't have in their country. And so the purpose of the tariffs is not to punish those companies. It's to say, hey, we must do things evenly and equally. And that's what's not happening. And I think what a lot of people don't understand, like, you know what, I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove to you right now how things that are created here in the U.S. are manufactured over in Canada. I mean, not Canada, but on Japan and China, right? But this is what they do. You know what? How many of y'all got Temu and Alibaba? You know what? They take these properties that we create and they remanufacture and then sell them out, and there's nothing we can do about it. See what I'm saying? They get shipped over here and they get sold. And it's nothing that can be done. But we can't do the opposite over in Japan. So why, you know, you got to me, I like the tariffs. Dude, it shows other companies like, hey man, you got to play ball. You can't be mad at that. I'm not mad at the tariffs at all. I think it's something that needs to happen. And people want to come up and negotiate these deals. If you don't want to lose no money, you will. They're gonna do it. Let's see. Steve said, if I had to pick between a new Steam Deck and a new Sony portable, I would get the new Steam Deck since it would be more games. Absolutely. It's gonna be more games. It's gonna be a nice selection of Sony games. It's gonna be listen. Just imagine, like, if you play, like, Spider-Man plays incredibly great on the Steam Deck. All right, but just imagine if it had newer hardware. I just look at stuff like that. Like, man, this a way. Like Madden don't play it on my Steam Deck, and I hope that they figure out what to do next generation with this. I wish they got to figure that out. But on my Legion Go, it's phenomenal, right? But the way to that next generation, how great running it can be. To me, to be honest, if the games, I just want more games to run on my device. That's the only limitation now with the Steam Deck, is that some of these newer games just don't quite run as the way in which I would want them to run on that device. And so that's the hamper part. But yeah, I'm with you, Steve. Like, man, look, from what it looks like, it's gonna come out in direct competition with the Steam Deck. And I'm telling you, I don't see nothing in the way of being in competition with Nintendo because of Nintendo's IPs, man. Everyone is going to have a Switch and something else. It's going to be a Switch and a Steam Deck, or a Switch and a PlayStation Portal. It's not going to be, well, I'm just Team PlayStation. That's it. Them days is over. Them fanboy days of saying I'm just loyal to the PlayStation. Well, you'd be a loyal fool, because it'd be no way. To me, if you be loyal to anything, you gotta be loyal to Steam, Nintendo. If you like Nintendo properties, you gonna rock with Nintendo. And this is one reason why, if we go back, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be, give us about 10 years. About 10 years, we're gonna look back at Sony and we're gonna say, man, they made some mistakes. They should have never made that decision to jump into the PC market, because they're going to mess around. I'm telling you, PlayStation's going to mess around, and it won't be this generation. But next generation, they're going to have some issues, man. They're going to have some issues because they don't have IP that hold people to them systems. They have IP they just let die out for no reason. It's like, man, you got great IP, man, that we should be on the third and fourth iteration of some of these games, man. They just let them die out. And then better yet, they're great. There's stuff that's like super good. Yeah, our backlog is so long. If you drop something new now, we don't necessarily need to play it. We'll wait because we know it's coming to Steam, right? We're gonna look back. Mark my words. That's gonna backfire on Sony. And it wouldn't be surprised if Sony said, "Well, we're just a software management company," and Nintendo's still gonna be making hardware. Because they got the IPs. They got too many IPs that people are going to pay money for. And this Switch generation just took those ideas and then it just amplified it. And then now you take those IPs, you mix it with theme parks that's in all around the world. It just gets more and more advanced. Let's see. CVM says, the only way Sony could change my mind if they had physical cartridges. Ooh. And the bad part about it, I don't think they're going to do it. I think you're right. I think because it's a lot of physical. I like physical media, man. If it burned up, so what? It burned up. Or if I lose it, all right, so what? I'll lose it. But I still have it. And if I want to say, hey, I want to take this cartridge, I want to give it to my son, I can. If I still want to say, hey, you know what? I want to take this Zelda game and loan it to my son. I don't have to go rebuy it, or for instance, on stuff on Steam. It's not quite an easy swap to be able to get everybody to play the same games, and it's not as smooth as it's still kind of convoluted, that how you move between both accounts and things of that nature. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just I'm the operator error, but I don't think the experience is as smooth as it should be. So I look at stuff like that, And so yeah, I'm a physical guy too, so I can dig that. I think this it, to me, if I am Sony and I'm getting ready to release this console, and I got this, I didn't greenlit it. I said, all right, it's a green light, let's go. The question would be, do I make it where PlayStation 5 games scale down? Am I able to make a handheld system that's on par with the PS5? Is that possible? Could that be possible 3 years from now? I think it could. I just don't know what that looked like, how successful they can be with that. Yeah. So the poll question today, speaking of that, I asked, what would the PlayStation handheld need to focus on to succeed? I personally said battery life and portability. Because I believe when we looked at the Switch, at the time when it was just the Switch and you had a PlayStation box and you had an Xbox console, and that was it. Those are your three pillars in 2017. And what made the Nintendo Switch so appealing was that, one, it had physical media, it had cartridges, and it was portable. And I can take that thing off my TV and take it with me and continue my game flow, and nothing misses a beat. That was the beauty of what Switch offered. And now, in this day and age, with so much more competition, these handhelds are getting much better and much better. Once the OS catches up with some of these PC handhelds, they're going to have some issues. Sony's going to have some issues. Microsoft is going to have some issues if they don't just it's out there for Xbox to just grab a hold of it and really nail it down and make an experience that's unlike any other PC handheld, and they will dominate the market. If they can create a handheld that can have a smooth experience with games that's run on Microsoft and on Steam, and they can merge those things together, they will have a bona fide hit. And I will tell you this, it would definitely give Steam Deck a run for its money if they can marriage the two together. Because I'm telling you, Valve, they don't care. I think Valve don't care about this handheld market. They're like, all right, we made a couple of dollars. It's not our focal point. We want more people to use Steam. That's it. The more and more people that use Steam, the more and more money they make. And I bet money, listen, and they make way more money off Steam than their hardware. Their hardware is just a byproduct. I'm telling you, Microsoft, you listen to me, buddy, listen. A W is in your direction. You can really gain a whole lot more market share if you figure that piece out. Create an OS that you can marry both of them together, buddy. That system right there would sell. All right. D1 says, I believe Microsoft just wanted to sit back and watch everybody else make handhelds before they dip their toe in the water. Kind of the same thing that Apple does, well, perfect if after everyone else. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, D1. And the key, now this is my issue with Microsoft. Microsoft has a tendency to say, hey, you know what? They'll sit back and watch, but then they'll produce something, and then they won't have any games. I believe personally, if you look at hardware by itself, I believe if we were just judging the hardware, to me, the Xbox hardware is better than the PS5 hardware. I think it's a better system. I think it's a better design system. I think the things they have is, I love the interface, the interact. It's, to me, that is the better console, personally. I'm not saying that, but see what the PlayStation has is they have more. they have a better quality of games. And you know what? At the end of the day, what trumps it all? Games. The Switch is successful because that first year, man, they punched people in the mouth with games. And they have been consistently dropping games its whole life cycle. And you can't compete with it. I mean, you can't be mad at that. You got to look back and say, oh, you know what? What do I do? They right. They cannot compete with the amount of games Nintendo Switch has put out. That's why they sold 140 plus million units. All right, so back to the poll real quick. It says, what do the PlayStation handheld need to do to focus in on to succeed? 17% said power and performance. And to me, it's like, you know what? That is important. It's all in depends if Sony does one or two things, right? Is this a portable PS5 or is this a brand new system entirely? Its own proprietary, like it's like, you know, you had the Vita, you had Vita cartridges, you had PlayStation Portable, you had PlayStation Portable cartridges. Is this a totally new system or is this a PS5 portable? Now, if it's a PS5 portable, do you know what? It just needs to be able to fit on that screen. I picked battery and portability. And right now, current poll says 17% says power and performance, 33% for battery and portability, 50% for price and design. I would like to hear some of y'all comment. You know what? Why? If how can I say this? People pay between $600 and $800 for some of these portable handhelds. And of course, they're not paying a lot, but people pay $600 for brand new iPads. You know what? What would be a good price? What would be matter of fact? What would be a price that would be like, hey, this is out of my range for PlayStation 2? And to me, I couldn't answer that question even for myself because I would say, hey, what games is launching with this thing? Is it a portable PS5? Or is it a brand new system? And if it's a brand new system, of course you're gonna have games to match this brand new system. So that's when that's what's PlayStation they get. I would love to hear how they manage this. Would this be another accessory where if I bought the game on PS5, do I naturally get to migrate it to my portable? Now that would be dope. I mean that would add mad value to your PlayStation 5. Like, hey, if I buy a game on my PlayStation 5, that game I can naturally download that game to my system and keep it pushing. Oh, that's dope. Now that's sweet. If it's no drop off, can't beat that. That will be the difference. Like, you know, how do they manage the things? This is D1 says it might force other countries to manufacture in America, but it's going to hurt Americans' pockets until all those factories get built. Yes and no. If that because I know like the key is like, you know, of course, you know it all depends on the deals they make. I think these companies say, hey, you know, we're going to manufacture here. This is, you know, this is what we're going to do. We have acquired the land. You know, all the things can be put into place. Say, hey, all right, we'll hold off as long as, you know, this is what you plan on doing. I think it's all in the deals. I don't think long term it's gonna eventually hurt us. I think what's going to happen is with that extra development here, once those plants and stuff, you know, it's going to take, you know, people to build these places, so that's going to improve the job rate. You know, once those companies get up and running, I can tell you right now, like here in where I'm living at, I'm probably about a 45-mile radius of they have a new solar power and Tesla battery plant. It's two different companies, but they got the same area, and that plant is probably about maybe a 35-minute drive from my house, and I'm seeing the effects of those kinds of structures and companies coming to the area because people need places to stay. So you have a lot more apartment buildings going up. You have more stores going up because now you got to feed these people. So it's drastically improving the economy in which I live at. Like, for instance, like, hey, my property value has doubled. No, take that back. Can I say tripled? Yeah, I can say, listen, my property value has almost tripled since the announcement of these plants. Microsoft, in another direction, Microsoft had just approved a $1 billion investment into the city that's like 30 minutes from me. So whatever they doing or whatever they building in these two different areas, man, it's drastically affecting the community and the economy of just my little area here. So the more and more you force these companies to build and make things here in America, which is gonna allow us to be able to have more jobs, and it's gonna affect the economy. That's why, I mean, if I do that, to be honest, I pray that he come in and he get on it ASAP, because I think in 4 years, some of these things might get reversed. So interesting. Steve M says, I would never put Temu on my phone or give them my info. I don't trust them. I'm okay. So listen, I agree. Listen, and I hate that, I buy stuff from Temu. I have. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, you have a point. I look at stuff like TikTok, even like, if you ever get a chance, man, research what's on the TikTok over in Japan. It'll shock you, the stuff that is allowed to come through their TikTok, which is allowed, and what the difference is what's allowed to come through TikTok here in America. Totally shocking. I'm telling you, man, we are at war, and that war is psychological, and that war is digital. And I'm telling you, like, a lot of us Americans, we walking around here like we clueless in Seattle, but I'm telling you, listen, we gotta make some changes. All right, that's a whole different discussion. I'm gonna keep it rolling. It says, D1 says, why is battery separate from power in the poll? So okay, that's a good question. So what I was talking about, not power. When I think about power and performance, I'm thinking about, like, how powerful the system is. When I'm thinking about battery, I'm thinking about, how long I'm able to play this thing, the actual juice to be able to play this particular console, wherever it may be. That's why I separated it. Power and performance, they kind of go hand in hand in that. That's why I put power and performance. D1 says, nah, those companies can't find other work around and steal their costs back to the consumers. Inflation. Inflation doesn't have anything to do with tariffs. The inflation comes from overproducing the dollar. When you flood America during COVID, America flooded America with tons of printed dollars. And those dollars wasn't earned; those dollars was given. All right, so we just cut checks, and we had all these checks that was going out. Don't get me wrong, those we've been getting checks since we've been getting checks before Trump. We was getting checks during. In fact, we got our first check during the Bush era. Before Bush left office, he cut everybody a check. I don't know if everybody remember that. Then Obama gave out checks. Then Trump gave out checks. So they've been flooding the markets at a steady pace with unearned free money from the government. And so what we're doing is that reap what you sow. They've given out so much money that it flooded the market, which weakened the dollar, which helps to start the inflation, right? So if you have a weakened dollar, the things that we typically would buy cost more because the dollar is weak. That's really how inflation has been running rapid. And then some of the moves that Biden had made while he was in office didn't help it. It kind of like accelerated it. So you gotta I think you gotta cut some things back. If we spending too much, then we need to reduce the government, stop spending so much. We got to say no. We can't. If you can find, $200 billion to send to Ukraine, then you can find ways to fix things here in America with our economy. I think we're at a position where people are giving away too much money. We're trying to help too many things, and things going on right here in America that shouldn't be happening. Like, our veterans shouldn't be living on the streets. If you fought for our country, I would rather give that money to you than give it away to another country who never lived a day on my streets. You know what? Yeah, I feel sorry. You got, you got things going on, but I got people right here in America that need it. I got kids within my own neighborhood that I have to make sure that I steal enough snacks to send home with them so they can have something to eat. So listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get on that rant, but that stuff be making me mad. All right. Also, those companies / countries could just wait 4 years until he's out of office again. Yep. Facts. You know what? Because that's exactly what happened. But you know what? Listen, I tell you this here: the same tariffs that Trump put into place are still active during this. Like this administration didn't take them tariffs away. Some same tariffs are still active and alive today, and they've been active the whole time while Trump was in office. They just did other things to backdoor it. D1 says, I meant that taxing other countries to produce and ship to America is just going to inflate the cost to American consumers. I will end there. Yeah, listen, I'm not going against that at all. I'm just saying that the threat of tariffs is going to force companies to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to push this, off to my consumers, because, every company would like to be able to sell their product and make a product from it and be reasonable and affordable. So they're going to have to sit down and have these conversations. See, before they had to have the conversation. Now, he's like, hey, not the threat, the mere threat of that is forcing companies to say, hey, well, we're going to have to shift gears. We're going to have some conversations. They're going to put some things into play. And so I think overall, we're going to benefit from it. I think, to be honest, I would tell people this here, just like it was back when he was in office the first time, I think it would be a great time to be an investor. If you worried about what you paid on this end here, you can compensate that by being an investor. Because this is going to be, I'll tell you, these next 4 years is going to be a time where you should be finding ways to invest on a steady basis, because it's going to eventually trickle back to you. All right, we talked about enough of that. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me get to. Did anybody do any game shopping? I didn't do any game. I bought something, but not a lot of stuff. All right, well, let me switch gear. I'm going to switch to this other. Let's see. Well, okay, there it is. Okay. All right. First story, it says Nintendo interested in identifying associates of alleged Switch pirate. Nintendo is not playing around. I mean, I think this is probably one of the reasons why Guerrilla Tactics is probably in hiding somewhere. Because he don't want to jeopardize that job. I'm telling you, listen, they is not playing around. And, to the most part, you really can't blame them, man. It's like, you know what? If you created something and somebody was just straight up, they copied it and started selling it for free, you'd be upset. I mean, that's what Japanese they and vendors over in China, they do quite often with American properties, if they're movies or video games or You know what? I don't know if they bootleg a whole lot of video games, but American movies, oh yeah. American music, oh yeah. So he says, I'm gonna read this story real quick and see if I can. It says, by now you're more than likely aware of the news that Nintendo has filed a lawsuit against James Archbox Williams, who is accused by Nintendo of Nintendo Switch piracy. Nintendo recently provided details of how the company managed to identify him in the first place. However, it seems that Nintendo doesn't want to stop with just Williams. They are interested in identifying his business associates too. You see, late last week, Nintendo issued another court filing. Okay, before I continue, I remember Nintendo they gotta be smart, man. They're gonna have a bunch of these hackers, man, aiming at their dome. And I remember this happened to Sony. Sony was kind of doing the same thing, coming after people. And you know what? They gonna mess with the wrong cat. And you know what? That cat gonna be affiliated with a lot of different other hackers. And you know what? They're gonna unite like Voltron, and they're gonna hone in on Nintendo. And you know what? It ended up costing Sony like almost $200 million because they hacked the PlayStation Network. Now, I don't know how secure Nintendo stuff is, but I mean, they're gonna keep messing with these people. They're gonna find out. This is you see, late last week, Nintendo issued another court file. There, the company is asking the court for permission to subpoena internet domain companies such as Namecheap, GoDaddy, and Turquoise. Is it Turquoise? They also wanted to subpoena Cloudflare, GitHub, Discord, Google, and Reddit. Listen, man, I don't think they'll never get that. That subpoena probably never go through. This is because Nintendo wants business records so they can find more pirates to sue. More specifically, said that wrong. Nintendo wants to go after people like Williams who may have ties to and associate with, saying that the purpose of all this requested subpoenas is to seek relevant information that is necessary for Nintendo America to pursue infringement claims. I listen, man. That if that goes through, man, that's gonna be huge. But I don't think so. I don't think they have the power to. Companies are gonna fight that. Google is gonna definitely fight Nintendo on that. Nintendo was particularly interested in Reddit, with the company saying that the defendant was a primary moderator of Switch pirate community under the name Archbox, which boasted more than 190,000 members. Nintendo has reason to believe that other accounts active in the Switch pirate community may also be controlled by the defendant, or else reflected other individuals who have worked alongside the defendant. So it seems that the R-Switch Pirates subreddit is likely to be Nintendo's number one target of their hunt for Williams Associates. That's crazy. Nintendo, I mean, I get it, but golly. All I got to say is, man, if you're a pirate, man, and you deep in that game, man, hey, man, back up out of there as fast as you can, man. Get your stuff together, because Nintendo is coming for you. Let's see. Sony now officially saying PS2 sold 160 million units. And the saga continues. Where did these extra 6 million units come from over the last, I don't know, man. Even the last 10 years. Come on, man. Y'all wasn't making no more of these systems. However, you know what, man, listen, it's gonna be funny to see how this end up playing. So, you know, I think what Nintendo was like 143 million, something like that. So they'll be roughly probably about 14 to 15 million units away. All right. So it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds, but I just don't know where 6 million units come from. I mean, listen. Have you seen a PlayStation 2 in the wild? I haven't seen one in the wild. I don't out there. I haven't seen it at any store. I haven't seen it at any TJ Maxx. They sell them aftermarket stuff, or I just haven't seen one, a brand new one for sure, in the last probably 20 years, let alone 10. But I digress. I listened to this story today on Spawnway's channel, and I thought this was interesting. It says China, it said all of Nintendo Switch online services to be suspended in 2026. And even like Spawnway couldn't give me a definitive answer of why this is happening. It says Tencent recently announced that Nintendo Switch eShop and all other online services for the Nintendo Switch will be suspended permanently in China starting from March 2026. Tencent Holding Ltd distributes the Switch in mainland China after Nintendo partnered with them in 2019 to bring the hybrid handheld to the Chinese market. Per the announcement, the Chinese eShop will stop offering games on March 31st, 2026, and all other online services for the system, including code redemption and downloads, will be shut down on May 15th, 2026. This will only affect those customers who have purchased the official Chinese version of the Switch and not those who obtained one from a different region. Okay, so if you get yourself a bootleg Switch, this ain't gonna bother you. But everybody that bought one legit, ooh-wee. As the Switch is region free, many in China has chosen to import systems from elsewhere so that they can connect with Switch worldwide and gain access to a larger array of games than the selection available on the Chinese version. Wow. They strict over there in China. They don't allow certain games to be played over there. I mean, I get it. But usually when you hold something back, people will find other ways to get around it. I bet you a Switch over in China costs a mint, especially if it's region free. Mm-mm-mm. 3 Genesis games available for Switch online members. Let's see. Okay, all right. Let's see. Okay. Now I never paid March, but Vector Man though. Vector Man was legit. 3 classes at Toe Jam and Earl and Panic. Okay. I never owned Toe Jam and Pearl. Toe Jam and Earl. I admit that. But I own Vector Man. Vector Man was good. Let's see. Type a little bit. All right, lame. Now Vector Man was good, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I would get on to play Vector Man. Nah, Mark. I don't remember what Mark's is. Oh, it looked like a bootleg Contra. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It's like somebody they tried. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. more free-flowing linear experience. So get yourself some Genesis love. I can't even tell you the last time I opened any of those apps to play any of those games. Even though, they got a story in here about Donkey Kong, but I was like, I'm just not really. I don't even know what that is. So Nintendo system sales over the ages. Let's see if they got it. It says by the numbers. I tell you, man, listen, dang, 14 million? Yikes. Okay, so the top number is how much software. The bottom number is how many units. Okay, so 3DS only sold 76 million. I didn't know that the Wii. I did not know the Wii almost sold a billion units of software. Well, that's saying something. Speaking of that, I don't know. We talked about that. I pre-ordered a that analog version of the 64. I think that's gonna be dope. I can't wait till that come in. I hope I get it. I hope it come. I think that's next year. That's something. But I pre-ordered mine. I made sure I got me one. You know what? As great as the Super Nintendo was, I'm shocked it only sold 49 million units. Game Boy Advance sold 82 million. Now, that's pretty good. What about the original Game Boy sold 119 million. You would think that the Super Nintendo would have sold more than the NES, but I think that the issue with the Super Nintendo is that they had competition with the NES didn't have no competition, but the Super Nintendo did. Sega was a force. Dang, 64 only sold 33 million. What about the GameCube? The GameCube only sold 22 million? That's crazy. You wouldn't think of that. I mean, that's like you might consider the GameCube to be kind of a flop because they only sold 8 more million units than the Wii U. Yikes. So before the Wii U, the GameCube was the worst system. Yeah, they didn't make a lot of money off the Wii U and GameCube. But they made tons of money off that Game Boy, though. That Game Boy, that's legendary. All right, let me jump to this next story. Donkey Kong Land 2 available on Switch Online members. For Switch Online members, rather. You know what, man? Is it just me? It's hard for me to go back to the green screen. To me, I would at least like them to offer a color version of these games. CFG says, "Good old Nintendo." Yeah. So I as much as I would like, I have so much in my backlog. Like this right here would definitely not get any play. I wouldn't even see a reason to say, you know what, I just gotta go back and play this game. But like this was good stuff back in the day though. I'm not even gonna hate, but I can go back to that green screen. CMG said, I got to say this is the longest the Big N to not bring out a new system. 8 years. Just wow. Yeah. Exactly. You know, I wonder, matter of fact, I might need to go back to that screen. I want to see the. I don't know if you can better see it or not on that screen, but I would like to know what was the second longest time we had to wait between systems. I know this one of the shortest turnarounds was that the Wii U to the Switch was a short turnaround, but everything else, I mean, like, man, 8 years. That's why it's like now it's like you get so tired of just like, you know what are they gonna do? When are they gonna release it? You know, you get tired of just listening to it now. It's like, you know, I just want you to get to the point. Just go ahead and show. Just go ahead and show it. You know what? You at this stage in the game, the people that's gonna buy a system, man, they have already invested. In these next couple of weeks, you're gonna get a ton of people that's gonna buy a Switch just because they're trying to get something for their children, and they don't care, and their children not gonna care. Like these little kids don't care. They don't even know that a new Switch is coming. Like these kids in middle school, man, they are so oblivious. Once Nintendo start advertising Switch 2 on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, then they'll know. But right now, them kids don't know. They have no clue these things is coming. Mortal Kombat 1 leaker claims year 3 content canned, including story expansion. I wonder why. I wonder this game didn't sell that very well. I know this game is definitely on sale during the holidays, but I don't know. Let's see. He said, it seems as though Warner Brothers game has decided to shelve the year 3 content of Mortal Kombat 1. The reason for this, as stated by known Mortal Kombat leaker, Fate Unknown, is due to Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reign downloadable content selling poorly. Yeah, but it's sold poorly because it was advertised poorly. Plain and simple. The year 3 content apparently included a second story expansion along something. Yeah, I mean, if you not said Mortal, it said Combat Pack 3 and the second story expansions were planned, all canned recently. No more characters after after Combat Pack 2. A cameo or two might make it since there has been work done on them, but I don't know yet. Okay, so this goes back to that original story we talked about earlier about how these companies are, you know, they're promising these expansions, but then in the middle of it, they can just make a decision to can it. That's why, like, man, just give me a complete game and then walk away from it. I don't want you nickel and diming me. Just give me everything that you plan on giving to this game. And if you don't give me, make another game. You know, it's just that simple, man. You can't get everything out, man. You can't continue to keep people. People are tired of being manipulated to play games. It's just like it's just a terrible system. I can't stand it. So sorry, Mortal Kombat. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Sonic vs. Shadows DLC listed on eShop with the 12th December release plus pricing. Okay, so for $5.99, with that's reasonable. I think anything over $10 is just too much. But I'm so glad that, you know what, like my kids, I hope they didn't buy it themselves because they're gonna get it again. But it is what it is. That's from what I hear, this game is selling pretty well too. I'm going to see the movies to see it too. It's on the 20th. I'm taking the kids in my classroom. Next Splatoon 3 big run begins December 13th. To say that Splatoon 3 has received a lot of support from Nintendo would be a massive understatement. There have been lots of updates, many Splatfests, and even some downloadable content over the years. Nintendo may have moved on from adding new content, but that doesn't mean that they have dropped support for the game. All right, well, that's good. I know my daughter and my sons will be happy. Mm, 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 mm. I gotta stop singing that song. U.S. charts Nintendo Switch number 3 and Call of Duty number 1 for October. Let's see if I got a. All right, the latest charts from the United States have come through the month of October, and there's a wealth of new entries in this month's charts. The best-selling video game was the latest game in the long-running Call of Duty series. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the best-selling hardware was the PlayStation 5, followed by the Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. It should be noted that Nintendo doesn't provide digital figures to whatever this company is, Criterion, for its first-party software on the eShop. So number 1 was Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 2 is Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. Number 3 was Silent Hill 2 Remake. Oh, I might want to pick that game up. I want that game on sale. I want to look to some sales. I want that on sale this weekend. Undisputed, you got Metaphor, you got Dragon Age Vanguard, you got Super Mario Party Jamboree. I got to pick that game up too. Madden 25, Sonic X Generations, and EA Sports FC 25 rounds out your top 10 in the U.S. in the month of October. Boop, boop. All right, keep it moving and grooving. Metroid Prime 1 through 3, a visual retrospect art book coming summer 2025. I think that would maybe be dope to have. I bet you some kind of crazy price though. I bet money is gonna be like more like $50. If it's more than $50, man, to me $50 is a lot. So if it's more, I think it might end up being more than $50. But this summer, you know, they'll probably do it around the same time. Whenever this system, they decide to drop this system. Drop this game. That book will come out when that game drops for sure. All right, let me go. Let me jump and do some review. That was Nintendo news. Let's go see what Nintendo Life is talking about. This is. Let me read this here. It says Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind, slightly delayed for Switch. And the version won't support online play at launch. Man, listen, this is why we need a new system. It's stuff just like this. It is the time of year when often see multiple delays, and with this in mind, we now got an important update to share about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the Nintendo Switch release has been slightly delayed. Instead of its original 10th December release date alongside PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam version, it would now be released on the 19th of December, so you'll have it to wait an extra week. And it won't support online play at launch. So that means, and that means where I'm playing this game at? On Steam? You know what? You want to pick this up and you want to support, these companies, especially when they have it on Nintendo consoles. But when you got stuff like this here and it's blatantly not even being supported on the online version, not even being supported on the Switch, why wait? And this is one of them games I kind of want a physical version because I think it would be dope to have in your collection. But what do? December 19th. I wonder it's going to have I wonder if there even is a physical version. That's going to be a good question. Zelda Cadence of Hyrule developers releasing its new rhythm game in February of 2025. It's on PC, consoles to follow at a later date. So it'll be on PC first. These are the devs that made Zelda Cadence of Hyrule. I wasn't a big fan of the game. But that was another one of the games that got a hard pass. Listen, Ubisoft, man, stop it. Just stop it. I don't even know why you think you're gonna be able to make something that's gonna directly compete with Nintendo. Stop it. Ubisoft may be working on an Animal Crossing competitor. There is hundreds of Animal Crossing competitors, and the majority of them suck. I was telling you, 90% of them suck. So Ubisoft, man, you need to poll the community and say, hey, what kind of game do you really, really want? And go that direction, because I don't think this is it. I'm sorry. In the state you guys are, I don't know who decided to green light this. The only way you green light this is you're trying to microtransaction on the death, and so you can get some extra money. But poor Ubisoft, man. They're just not making the best decisions. Sony may be plotting a new PSP to compete with Nintendo Switch 2, but it's likely several years away. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what? I think it's smart for them to wait and not come out so early with a new Vita. I like the new update to turn that thing into a streaming device. The only thing about it, but once again, like, it's a streaming device, but you know what? It's only, you got to be certain places to be able to stream them games. So they got to have a good internet. Yeah, you know what? It's okay. Let me read some more, because if I'm correct, I think it's just a streaming device. That means, like, if you have a PlayStation account and you have the premium account at that, then you can stream them games right to the device. You don't necessarily need a PS5 to do it. Now, those games don't download and be native to the system itself. I don't think. Let's read. This says, let me go back to. I said, all right. We know what you're thinking. And yes, it certainly feels like a rumor. I'm going to read the wrong thing. I'll read this story first, then I'll come back to the update. It says, it certainly feels like a rumor of a new PlayStation handheld have been swirling probably since the launch of the Vita. But now we have a slightly more credible report from Bloomberg claiming that the Sony may be developing a new PSP to compete more directly with Nintendo. According to Bloomberg, developer of a new handheld is in the early stages, and much like the Microsoft planned portable device, likely won't launch for some years to come. As such, the company may still decide against bringing it to market, though given the remarkable success of the Switch and the hype surrounding its successor, we honestly wouldn't be surprised if Sony dipped its toe further into the world of handheld gaming. As for the PSP will be capable of, Bloomberg states that it will build upon the foundation of the PlayStation Portable, but rather than require the cloud to stream PS5 games, the system will instead play them natively. Okay, that's huge. In other words, don't expect many, if any, bespoke handheld games like Tearaway and Uncharted Golden Bliss. Tearaway was good too. Why they tripping? Uncharted Golden Bliss was a good game. There's some haters. Having direct competition for both Sony and Microsoft within the handheld space would no doubt make the Switch 2 a slightly trickier position for some consumers. That said, if rumors of both firms are to be believed, it's likely the Switch successor would have the console handheld market all to itself for at least 2 or 3 years or so. Combine that with the stellar first-party software that Nintendo is known for, and we'll say the company will have little to worry about, at least for a time being. I agree. Listen, I go back to my original statement, man. As long as Nintendo has IEPs that are iconic, that are generational, and they're passed down by their parents to their kids, and Nintendo has a unique ability to have games that make you feel like a kid again. Even in my 40s, because I think I was maybe like 41, 42 when the original Switch came out, and man, Super Mario Odyssey, man, is like one of the best 3D platforms ever. It doesn't. To me, it didn't. It doesn't. I mean, it was good. It was real good. And I think it is better than Mario 64. I just like Mario 64 better. I said it. So yeah, I mean, listen. For the next 2 years, we're gonna be switched 2 up. Now, 2026, that E3 time, you're gonna hear more rumblings of this PlayStation Portable coming to market. If they can figure out some way where the developers don't got to do a lot of work to scale their games down to be put on this device, then they got a winner. They got a winner. It's not going to be, it's not, to me, if the system comes out and it sells 60 million, it's a winner, because you know what, that's 60 million, that probably 30 million that you didn't took away from Nintendo. I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer. You gotta release this system to help slow down this avalanche, because as much as the PlayStation is going to have like the games where people come and play. They come and play the Call of Duties, and they play the Maddens and the 2Ks on PlayStation devices. If Nintendo somehow works it out where you can play them games portably and it's easy to access, I mean, they got it. Listen, that to me, the reason why I bought a Steam Deck in the first place was because of the portability and the ability to play Madden on the go. That was like number one for me. Madden, and to play 2K at 60 frames per second was like huge. So those things to me are important. And so if Nintendo can somehow figure out a way to do that and keep the ball going, I mean, listen, it's a win-win at the end of the day. So shout out to Sony, man. I'm glad I think they waited too late though. I think this should have been planned and greenlit. Once they seen Nintendo get to 100 million, they should have been like, listen, hey, we got to do something. That they should have been like, hey, we got to get on this. All right, let's see. Let me jump to some other places. Look and see what GameStop is talking about. Best Buy. So Best Buy Black Friday deals, Lego, video game controllers, headsets, and more. So let's see what they got. PlayStation 5 accessories. The PlayStation players can upgrade their setup with several pieces of their first-party hardware, such as Sony's new Pulse Explorers wireless gaming earbuds and the Pulse Elite wireless headset. You can also grab a fresh DualSense controller in numerous colors options, many of which are $20 off. All right, so the headphones is $30 off at $170, and Elite wireless headset is off for $20 from $150 to $130. Astrobot is $50 at Best Buy. Days Gone is $20. Death Stranding Director's Cut is $20. Demon Souls $30. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth $40. Okay, all right. So I might see that. Let me get my little pen out. I just might have to pick. That's one I might have to pick up. All right, I might come back. I'll keep that in my mind. Let's see what else they got. Helldivers 2, $30. Okay, that's not bad. That's $10 off. Gran Turismo is Gran Turismo 7 is $30. Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition, $40. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, $20. I think that's on sale too on Steam. We're gonna look at some Steam sales as well. Returnal, $30. Rise of Ronin, $40. Stellar Blade, $50. Last of Us Part 1, $30. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, $40. Uncharted Legacy Thieves Collection, $20. Man, that's a pickup. Okay. Third party. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, $20. Elden Ring, $20. You know what? I'd never played Elden Ring. I said I was gonna buy it for my stick. I want to play it on the go, but you know what? I don't know. I might have to pick it up. Jedi Survivor, $20. I wonder if that's 20. If that's $20 on Steam, I'm gonna pick it up on Steam. I just wonder how good it plays on a Steam Deck. I might need to do some research. Silent Hill 2, $50. That's not a deal. Like a Dragon Infinite Well, $25. Metaphor, I think it's up for Game for the Year, $50. The Neo Collection, $20. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection 1, $20. Ooh. I bet you if it's $20 here, it might be $20 on Steam. And I think that's a better place to play it. It's on Steam. Tekken 8, $30. I think it's $35 on Steam. Oh, man, that's a hard one. I had to come back to that one. Hogwarts Legacy, $25. Okay, I own that already. Silent Frontier, $20. Okay, I guess I got that little stuff. Xbox controllers and consoles and controllers. If you consider buying the Xbox Series X and S, Best Buy console deals are worth checking out. You can grab your multiple versions of the machine at a discount, including the new all-digital Xbox Series X for $400 was $450, or the standard Xbox Series X with a disc drive is $449 was $500. If you want to add an extra controller to your collection, multiple controller options are on sale for just $40. Ah, man, listen. Every time I've got a couple of Xbox controllers, but one of them I gave away to my son. He kind of got me. I think I might have to give me another one just so I can have for my iPad. Let's see. So all the controllers are games. Let's look at the games. Games. Alan Wake 2 is $50. Ooh. It was $80. Yikes. Alone in the Dark, $30. Assassin's Creed Mirage, $20. College Football 25 Standard Edition, $40. That's a pickup if you don't have it. The game is awesome. It needed to come to Steam though. NBA 2K25 Standard Edition is $30. I think it's $35 on Steam. Madden 25, $30. Mortal Kombat 1, $29. Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, excellent game, $20. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, $20. Tekken 8, $30. Vision of Mana, $45. WWE 2K24 standard version, $25. All right. Off to Nintendo. This is all at Best Buy, remind you. Switch Pro controller, $50. That's a little high. Joy-Con, $60. That's still a little high. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild carrying case, no cares, $15. That's for all you newbies. Get off of there. All right. So, Animal Crossing, $40. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, $50. I think I heard it's cheaper. Some of the places had it cheaper for $30. You might want to check that one out if you have not picked up the game. Kirby's Forgotten Land, great game, $40. Nintendo Switch Sports, $40. Pikmin 1 and 2, $30. Pikmin 4, $40. Sea of Stars, $25. Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury is $40. Super Mario Maker 2, $40. Super Mario Odyssey, $30. Digital game. Okay, I don't care about these digital ones. Even though they got some bangers though, because Astro Chain is a banger, $42. Bayonetta 3, $42. Bayonetta Origins, $42. Brother Default 2, $40, $42. Cadence of Hyrule, $28. Cuphead, $14. Pick that up today. David X Machina, $42. Oh no, that game was okay. GTA Trilogy. Hold up now. This cause they did some updates. This game is worth the $30. Pick that up. GTA for the Switch. Definitely a pickup. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, $50. Red Dead Redemption, $35. Persona 5 Royal, $15. Another game that if you into JRPGs, you should pick it up. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, $6. Man, that is a pickup. If you find that is a good game, even on the Switch. It might not be like all shiny bells and whistles, but man, it played phenomenal on the Switch. Pick that up. Wolfenstein 2, $6. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, $42. Yoshi's Crafted World, $40. Sonic Mania, $8. Another pickup. Sonic Superstars, $18. Sonic X Shadow Generation, $37.49. That's a pickup. I'm trying to think of anything else. Unravel 2, $6. Another game that might get bought on the real. Oh man, all these Lego games, tons of Lego games. But I'm telling you, out of these Lego games, which one I would pick up? They gotta have the Skywalker edition. Oh no, these are just toys. Let me get out of here. Monitors. Oh, I do want me a monitor. I want this OLED monitor so bad. Well, I ain't bad, $550, but I'm not paying. No, I'm not paying $550. Ooh wee. LG 45. It's gotta be $100 off. It can't be $100. This gotta be a typo. Let's click on that. That's gotta be a typo. Right. Okay. So it was $1,000. They left out a zero. It's $1,000. So it's down $700. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's real good. But I don't need a monitor. I just want one. All right. That was enough of those sales. All right. So let me look real quick. Let me get over here to Steam and just look at some of the Steam sales real quick. Dark Souls 3. $29.99. That's a little too high. I mean, that game is old. I mean, it's probably still good, but it still ain't worth that. G.I. Joe, Wrath of Warcraft. I mean, Wrath of Cobra. I said Warcraft. $20. Prince of Persia, $15.99. I don't know if I bought that game on Steam. I think I was. I think I am. Because it's $15. I think this is a sale. You know, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, to have it on PC for $24.99. I think that's a sale. I think that's a deal. Horizon, $40. I believe that's a definitive edition. This is Forbidden West. Oh, I wonder how it plays. Because the original Horizon played pretty well on my Steam Deck. $25% off the Steam Deck LCD. Oh, it's the LCD version. Yikes. Definitely pass on that LCD version. Even though the LCD wasn't bad, it's just that OLED is so much better. Red Dead Redemption is $10 off. This is for $40. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, $20. That's a good game. Definitely worth it. Let's see. Final Fantasy 16. I doubt that played well, so. Ooh, now. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Edition is $10. Half-Life Alyx is $20. The Castlevania, oh man, that's only $20. TWIG. Oh, another game. $15. Definitely worth it. Detroit Becomes Human. I heard this game was pretty good. It's only $12. Space Marine. Oh, I want this game, but I don't think it plays well. I'm good enough yet for me to pick it up. $47. Ghost of Tsushima yes, $12 off, but man, it plays good on the Steam Deck. So I would tell you, it plays even better on my Legion Go. $48. That's worth the pick up. Red Dead Redemption 2, $20. Can't beat that. This card game, Blastro, is up for Game of the Year, and it's on sale for $12.70. I think it's created by one dude, so it's probably definitely worth to look at. I'm trying to see if I can find anything else. Street Fighter, $29. I don't know. I think that's still kind of high, even though I still want it though. Only thing about so NBA 2K 3150. Ooh. So I want to pull the trigger, don't I? Oh, I want to pull the trigger. But you know what? I just have a love-hate relationship with the NBA right now. All right, well, good people, listen. It is 10:30. We've been going for about 2 hours. And I think I'm going to call it quits. I'm trying to think, did I cover everything today? Let me go ahead and look at this. I talked about the PlayStation 2. I talked about the shutdown. I talked about that Vita 2. Yeah, I just hope on the Vita 2, I'm gonna lean on these marks here. I'm gonna leave on these marks rather. I think with the Vita 2, man, it's gotta have a great design, and it's gotta be. Yeah, if like the report said, if it plays PlayStation 5 games natively, and I'm able to take those games on the go, and it has a great design and a great screen, I mean, it's gonna be a winner. I don't know how you do it. How big you have to make that system to have the battery life to be able to power these games. I don't know. I mean, that's a crazy puzzle for Sony to figure out. But if they can figure it out, when that system can at least give you 3 hours of battery life, it's a winner. Cause that's to me, at least if it give me at least 3 hours of battery life, and they have a system in place where fast charging can happen, then it's a winner. It's a winner. If I can figure out some way to give it fast charging where, it could charge the system in, 80% in 30 minutes, something like that. It charges from zero to full within an hour's time, then it's a winner. That would take the cake. But I wonder what you guys think, man. So once again, listen, hey man, I'm sorry I had to take the hiatus. I thank y'all for who came through tonight and hung out, and those who get an opportunity to watch the show later, man. Listen, man, God bless you, man. Hope things are going on well on your end as well. But you know what? Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and give out my let's see who all showed up tonight. Cause I didn't have a lot of people show up tonight. Ain't that about a blip? Let's see. Hold on. This All right. Supersonic Saved by Grace. Christmas Child Connect Uncertain came to say hello. I can't stay out of state for operation. What kind of operation you having, Supersonic? Let me get you on the board. I'm glad you popped in because I was just about, and I sent you your well, you're on the board anyway. I wanted to put you on that twice. I sent your card on Discord today. Says Christmas child connection uncertain. Came to say hello. Can't stay out of state for operation. Well, man, I pray in the name of Jesus, Lord, that you bless the doctors who are involved in his operation. I pray, Lord, that your hands be upon them. I pray, Lord, that they give him the right medicines and things he needs, Lord. I just pray, Lord, you bless this situation for him, Lord, wherever that operation may be and whatever it's doing for him. I just pray, Lord, that your hands be upon that, Lord, and he's come out of this safely. I just thank you, Lord, and I love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. I don't know what that means, but OP Christmas Child. Supersonic Saved by Grace. I like the name, though. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the Wheels of Steel. And let's see who we get a winner tonight. If I win tonight, who would I give it to? You know what? I'm going to give it to Geeky and her family because they checked in on me to make sure I was straight. And I appreciate that so much. And so I'm going to put on it the Geekies. If I win, I'm giving it to Geeky and her family. All right. Without any further ado, let's keep it moving. Oh, he said not surgery. Out of state for operation. Oh, okay. What is Operation Christmas Child? I don't know, buddy. I can't figure it out. You give me too many clues. I can't figure it out like Batman. It said I'm not on Discord till Sunday. Well, when you pop up on Discord on Sunday, you'll see it. All right. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We don't got that many. We don't got 8. But it's 8. Get a chance. Without any further ado, you know how we do. If your name gets selected first, you hear my boy. And CMG is out of there first. We'll keep it moving. We keep it moving and grooving. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Who's up next to catch the flex? And it will be Dub City. Please exit left. Dub City is out here, ladies and gentlemen. We keep it moving and grooving down to 6 in the mix. We'll keep it moving and grooving real fast, real cool. Got the almighty. Joe was in for a minute, and Joe is out. All right, Joe down to 5. Who's left to be alive? To keep it moving and grooving. Gaming Dad survives another round, but D1 did not.
You lose.
D1 is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you. We're down to final 4, ladies and gentlemen. We got Steve M, Supersonic Mockingjay, Bazit, 24/7 YT, and your boy Gaming Dad. Let's go. And Gaming Dad survives again. It's my boy Steve M. He is out of here. Steve M is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep it moving and grooving. Who's up next to catch the flex? He said, I can't do 2. No, sir. I just use it for 1. If I used it, I just used the Supersonic Mockingjay instead of using the Supersonic Saved by Grace because you won the last one I was on. So we just let that be the one. Out of the last 3, who would it be? Gaming Dad is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I but the dust.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. All right. Without any further ado, no drums tonight. Gave my boy the night off. He'll be back next week. And our winner tonight will be 24/7 Bazit YT. Suicide Mike J is out the board, ladies and gentlemen. Give him his salute. And he's out of here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Give it up for tonight's winner, Bazit 24/7 YT. Kids, give it up for him one time. If I can get the kids. There you go. No sheep tonight, man. Didn't have enough spaces. I'll spin the wheel one last time. But you know what? But I will get my prayer on tonight. Let me read the scripture of the day. All right. Scripture of the day comes from the book of First Peter, chapter 4, verse 8. It says, all above, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. I always tell people you always be mindful of how you treat people. I teach that in my classroom. I teach it to my kids on the court. You got to be mindful of how you treat people, because what goes around comes around. Well, you reap what you sow. So if you out there doing bad things to other people, it's going to come back to you. But you do good things to other people, that also will come back to you. So I thank God for the word. I just want to just pray us out. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, and we praise your holy name. I thank you, Lord, for this opportunity and this day to be able to come in front of these people and pray to you, Lord, and praise you, and let them know, Lord, that you are the King of kings and Lord of lords. We thank and honor you, Lord, because you loved us. You chose us this day to be able to praise your name. I was blessed today, Lord. I got to read your word out loud over the internet, Lord. And other people will one day watch this video and hear your word. And I'm so grateful that you chose me today. I pray, Lord, that you bless those who took time out, who share a little bit of their time here on the show, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you bless them going forward. And I pray, Lord, that you bless them and their families this holiday season, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you bless those who do not have this season, Lord. Those who don't have the advantages that I have in life, Lord, to be able to have a home-cooked meal and have family and friends, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you bless those, Lord, who are out there on the street tonight that's living, Lord. Lord, please keep them warm and keep them fed. Bless those who bless others, Lord. And I praise your holy name for just loving me enough to be able to continue to do the things I do. I just pray, Lord, that when you see me one day, Lord, that you say, job well done. I pray, Lord, that you forgive me for the sins I've committed, the ones I know of, don't know of, and the ones to come. I thank you and honor you this wonderful day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Good people, this is your boy, Gaming Dad, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Be grateful, be thankful, man. Go hug somebody in your life, man. Love them to death, man. Help tip of the day, man. Eat pumpkin seeds. It'll help on your road to detoxing your body. And also, if you get a chance, man, get your papaya, man, and eat you a couple of those papaya seeds. You'll be surprised. You know, we have a lot of parasites in our body. It's one of the reasons leading to a lot of things that we deal with in our life. So if you can incorporate that into your life, man, you'll find out things will be a whole lot better for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your boy, Gaming Dad. And in the final words of Don Cornelius, peace, love, and soul, good people. And your boy is Audi 5000 G. Hit with the horns, please.